about kuongoka. Sometimes we speak about kuokoka, but kuokoka is just salvation. But beyond being saved, we need to convert, to become better persons each and every day. And that conversion in Kiswahili, we call it kuongoka, becoming a better you, a better version of you every day. Knowing that alone you cannot manage, so you rely on the divine assistance, the assistance that comes from God above. It is in marriage that we build a domestic church. Sometimes when we speak about the church, we think about this building. When we speak about the church, we think about maybe the clergy. But above all, the family and a marital union is the basic cell of the church, is a domestic church, so to say. So much so that it is in the family, in that marital union, where we can have a witness of faith and of love. Now, when we come for Mass in church, each one of us is very holy. You can even take an example. Just look at the person you are seated next to. Very holy and very composed. So that's sijui shida huwa inatokea wapi ukishatoka hapa, the kind of person you become out there. And you know, even by definition, Mass, from the Latin word missio, to be sent, as if to say, Mass begins when the priest says, go in peace. That is when Mass now begins. How you go and live out there will show whether you've been in for Mass or you are just there for a fashion show. And the best place to exercise that mission, that call, that sermon that you have received in church is in the family, in that marital union. Ultimately, the destiny of every marriage is the transformation of the human person and staying with God in eternal beatitude. So, the ultimate destination of our marriage, of our union, is to be with God. The foundation of marriage is love. And today we are speaking about rekindling that love. Already, when we speak about rekindling, we mean that love may have gone down, may have been dimmed. And it is important to notice that it is true, love can be dimmed. Mapenzi yanaweza isha. Mapenzi yanaweza zima. Next slide, please. So let us look at two possible causes that can dim our love in a marriage or in a relationship for the young Christian adults who are here. The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 12, speaks about increased wickedness and evil. And because of increased wickedness and evil, this particular verse says, love can be dimmed. In our relationships, in our marriages, when we perpetuate a habit of evil, a habit of wickedness, love will simply disappear. When you are repeating the same mistakes and keep hurting your spouse in the same way that you hurt her or him, you are decreasing that love. When you keep causing pain and tears to your spouse, unapunguza yale mapenzi. That somebody has to cry every night because of a spouse. That pain. In our pastoral ministry, sometimes in the office when you are seated, listening to the pains that a spouse can cause to another, you can understand how difficult it is to love someone who is perpetually causing you pain. Sometimes the wickedness comes from betrayal, betraying your own spouse. You know, the world out here will not know whether you are married. Watu huku nje hawakujui, wewe ndio unajijua. Somebody was suggesting that married couples should be given some sort of uniform. Mukwe painted yellow kama school bus. So that when you are walking, we can identify this is a married woman or this is a married man. But before we reach that level, it is you yourself who knows that you are married. It is your identity. You know, sometimes we want to behave like that Samaritan woman going to the well and seeing Jesus as a potential husband. Ndio maana Yesu anamuuliza now, do you have no, first of all, give me water. And the woman says, no. You know, I am a Samaritan, you are a Jew. Yani in short, usiogope kuongea. We are not related by blood. It's not that I'm denying you water. It's, yeah, I am a Samaritan, you are a Jew. We can, the conversation can go on. And so the conversation goes on, and Jesus is like, okay, go and call your husband. And she says, I have nobody. Kuna wamama ambao tunakaa kama Samaritan woman, who you will deny your husband because of the opportunity you are looking at. But women is not so much. The men are worse. That girl where you go for your lunch does not know whether you are married. He's seeing you as a potential man. It is you to know your identity and say, no, I am married. Beyond the ring, the marriage is written in your heart and in your life. Do not be a cause of betrayal. Our wickedness may come in form of abuse. Abuse. And we have so many types of abuses. It may be a verbal abuse, a physical assault, a sexual abuse. Now we are talking about rape in marriages, and any other sort of abuse. And the worst kind of abuse that we have that is causing a lot of pain in our marriages is emotional abuse. Sasa umeamka asubuhi umenyamaza tu. Sasa your wife has to start calculating how to approach you to tell you good morning. You are abusing somebody emotionally. You don't feel for them. You don't feel what they are going through. But also we have a wickedness of negligence, refusing to do what we are supposed to do, the sins of omission. So the first cause that can make our love be dimmed is increasing evil and wickedness in either of the forms suggested. The book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 4, speaks about abandoning the first love as another reason as to why our love can disappear. We are into the days of Easter. And one thing that Jesus told his disciples When I die on the third day, I will resurrect. Let us meet in Galilee. Meeting in Galilee. Galilee, after resurrection, refers to the Galilee where they met when he called them at first. Going back to the first love. Sometimes in our relationships, we behave like politicians. Mbunge akishapata constituency, akikuja Nairobi hata wairudi kwa jimbo lake tena. So we make marriage a political affair. Once you got or you get what you wanted, you disappear because utarudi after 5 years when you want your vote again. It is always good to maintain that first love, that which attracted you to the other person from the word go, to make it alive and alive every day. Because as John will say, writing to the church in Ephesus, when you abandon your first love, that love naturally dies. If you are seated next to your spouse, look at them again. What attracted you to that person the first day? It is important to remember that. How did it begin? So much so that as we are celebrating Couples Day today, go back to the origin, restore factory settings. Rudisha hiyo simu kwa the original settings, so that the world does not lure you and you forget your first love. Be available the way you used to be available. Men, you used to be very available. Saizi umekaa hapa as if you are not the one ulikuwa unanyeshewa na mvua ukimungojea. Are you not the one ulikuwa unafukuzwa na umbu za baba ya your wife? Yes. Hata uko na alama kwa miguu. You are the very one. Si wewe ulikuwa unamsindikiza alafu unatoa viatu unarudi kwenu mbio usiku. Now where is that love gone? That commitment, that sacrifice. This is something you need to remind yourself. It was not easy to get her. Unakumbuka vile alikuwa anakuambia, give me time. I go think about it. And you are patient. Lakini saizi akikwambia give me 5 minutes, I dress, we go to church, unamwambia tupatanie mbele. Be available as you used to be available from the first day. Provide. Provision. That you used to give, you used to do something. Keep doing that which you are doing. How therefore can we rekindle love in our marriages? Number one, we know marriage is not easy. We know that one. Kuishi na mtu mwenye hamkulelewa na yeye si rahisi. It's not easy. So it is good to go back to God. Involve God in your life. Huyo mtu, and I invite you again to just do this small exercise, even if it's not your spouse. Look at the person you are seated next to. Huyo mtu si mrahisi. Ni mtu mgumu. Hata Mungu mwenyewe baada ya kumuumba alishangaa. Genesis chapter 6 verse 6. God regretted why he created somebody like you and I. Sasa kama Mungu mwenyewe aliumba mpaka akaregret, what about you? Governments have tried. Zimeleta hata prisons, zimeleta policemen to take care of this person, zinakuthreaten, mambo ni matatu and all that. but you still do wickedness. What about you mwenye una bunduki kwako? What about you? Kuishi na mtu si rahisi. You need God. And that's why I always love the story of Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2. You know, when Adam was created, Adam was alone. Adam was alone. Ye hakuwahi lalamika, hakuwahi sema ati I am lonely. Ni Mungu tu na kimbelembele yake alianza, you know, it is not good for this man to stay alone. I will make him a helper. Ni Mungu tu alianza. So akapea Adam usingizi mzito, heavy sleep, and he fashioned a woman out of him. And that's why when the woman committed sin with the snake, and God came asking Adam, why have you eaten of the fruit? Adam made it so easy. Akasema, sasa Mungu, it is the woman you gave me, you know. In other words, mi hata sikuwa nataka, si ni mambo yako tu na huyo mwanamke, ni wewe uliniletea, mimi haihuzuki. It is good to involve God. Involve God in your marriage. Through prayer, through the sacraments, and we shall be speaking passionately about the Eucharist and penance. Involve God as couples through spiritual activities. At the close of the day, do some examination of conscience. Jiulize maswali. How have I lived my marital life today? Have moments of retreats as couples, as families. Have moments of recollection, kujikusanya vizuri, kujiuliza, what am I not doing right and what am I doing right? As couples practice the spiritual and the corporal works of Mass suggested to us by the Church. Go to that small Christian community together as a couple. It's wonderful. You know, when you do things together, it makes more meaning. Makes a lot of meaning. So, go to church together. It is wonderful when you are a CMA and your wife is a CWA and your children are in PMC and the youth, and you're coming for second Mass, all of you after Mass. Mama anaenda pale, baba anaenda pale, watoto anaenda pale, vijana pale. Then we meet as a family at the end of our meetings and go back home together. A family that prays together stays together. Number two, when love is dimmed, it's important to know what the cause of that problem is. So that upon knowing what the cause of the problem is, you identify it and you handle it. Don't go for blanket covering of problems. It's good to call a spade a spade. The men, it's good to call the spade a spade. Handle the bull by its own horns. If the problem is finances, sit down and talk. If a problem is alcoholism, sit down and talk. Don't run away from the reality of the problem in marriage. So identify the root cause and find possible solutions to that. Number three, search to be a complete person and fulfilled. Wewe binafsi. The mathematics of marriage is 1 plus 1 is equals to 1. It is not half plus half is equal to 1. You must be a complete person, meeting another complete person in order to make up an item. Be happy first of all as a woman, be happy as a man, and then that happiness makes the happiness of another, and then you make a one complete happiness. If you read the book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 23, when Adam woke up from the sleep and the woman was presented to him, before Adam exclaimed about the woman, he exclaimed about himself. He began by saying, my bones and my flesh, mine, seeing yourself in the other person. Because we are in Kenya, we always imagine that zile nyimbo za zamani are relevant. Furaha ya Bwana ni kuwa na bibi. Furaha ya bibi ni kuwa na bwana. No. Kwanza ukuwe na furaha yako alafu ikutane na furaha ya mwingine ndio tufurahie pamoja. Sasa wewe umekuja with no happiness. Unataka ni hotspot yangu. Kuja na yako na mimi nikuje na yangu, tuchanganye tukue na a complete one happiness. Sasa if you are gloomy, Bluetooth haita kushika, Wi-Fi itazunguka tu, network busy. Search to be fulfilled as a person. Remember, at the end of the day also, you are an individual and you have a life to live. And so, have that life first, so that you can meet the other person who also has a life, and then you share life together. Don't come dead. Unakuja dead. Nikikuhotspot, unanyonya bundles zangu zote za mapenzi zinaisha. Tunakuwa dead together. Come with yours, I come with mine, we combine, we make life. Generosity and sacrifice is another way in which we can rekindle our love. Kujituma. Taking the first initiative. Doing good because it is good to do good. The Bible tells us God loved us, not because we merited, but because He is a loving God. Love your spouse because you know what to love is. Don't love because she loves you, or don't love because he loves you. Love because it is your nature to love. Again, don't be on the receiving end, be on the giving end. Be a giver of love, not just a recipient. And I think St. Peter, knowing how difficult it is to live with the human beings, he will say, men, love your wives. Wives, submit to your husbands. Because I think he was addressing the problem concerning each gender. Shida ya wanaume ni kupenda, shida ya wamama ni kusubmit. Hapo tu ndio kuna shida, ujuaji. Again, because we live with a weak human being, we need to have a role of forgiveness taking part in our marriages. What is hurting marriages today is the spirit of revenge. That because somebody hurt me in this manner, I also want to retaliate. It is good to forgive. Not for the sake of the other party, but for your own good. Unajua, mzee amechelewa kurudi, mama uko kwa nyumba, you are not sleeping. You are worried about the man who has not come back. Unajiumiza. Actually hapo kuna shida mbili. Shida ya kwanza ni mzee mwenye ako nje hajarudi, na shida ya pili ni mwenye ako na kitanda na blanketi na halali. I think when you come for counseling, the first person we need to counsel ni mwenye ako na kitanda na halali. The other one at least is busy. Learn to forgive. It gives you peace. This person you are not forgiving sometimes is not even concerned about you. Na hata ajui amekuumiza, by the way. Ni wewe unabeba mzigo tu. It's good to forgive. Then create an atmosphere of love. Create an atmosphere of love. Communication is key in our relationships. Sharing what you are going through with your spouse is important. And the one listening to should listen in order to understand, not in order to respond. Unfortunately today, people are listening in order to respond rather than to understand. Listen to the story of your spouse in order to understand, to put yourself in their shoes. Saizi you are talking to someone and is already thinking on how to answer. Hata hujaelewa. That's why Jesus used to tell his disciples, don't tell anyone, because you have not even understood. Imagine Peter going to share about transfiguration and he has been sleeping all through. Listen in order to understand, not to respond. Dedicate some time and spend your time together. Open-ended questions. Not mambo ya yes or no. Men, I salute you. To live with women is not easy. Science is telling us there are a number of words a woman should speak in a day. Na asipomaliza hayo maneno, mzee utaumia because utajibu maswali. That's why sometimes mumekaa kwa nyumba wote usiku, alafu anakuuliza hiyo ni mvua inanyesha huko nje. So, sijui anataka uende unyeshewe urudi na evidence. But even when this woman is asking this open-ended question, is it raining? Don't feel annoyed mzee. Mujibu tu, mwambie actually, hata meteorologist walikuwa wamesema hii mvua itanyesha for 3 months. Just explain something. Just explain something. Because usipojibu hiyo ukimwambia tu, yes, ni mvua. Wait for the next question. TV itakuja, utaona president akirushiwa kiatu, atauliza, na huyo ni president? Don't get annoyed, men. Just answer them. Explain. Explain, explain. Because of this open-ended question. Don't be a one-word man or one-word woman. Learn to speak up. Have some acts of service and appreciation. Don't do things as a routine. Because routine becomes monotonous. Small things, intentional acts of gratitude. Have some love language. Leave notes of love. No, I liked it the other day when our bishop, auxiliary bishop Simon, told the men to write messages to their wives. And the wives were very surprised and even asking their husbands, is it a wrong number? Learn to tell your wife you love them, because hii neno usipomwambia akisikilia huko nje ataenda akiendanga. Let them learn some of these things in the family so that they are used to it. So that when somebody says, I love you out there, it is not news. Otherwise, they have never heard it from you, the spouse. So, mtu wa bodaboda pale nje anayembeba ama taksi ama mtu mwingine anapomwambia I love you 2, I love you 3, I love you 4, I love you 5, I love you 6, wameenda wakiendanga. Let this love be there in the family, the love language. As we conclude, let us have some shared experience and rediscovering fun. Marriage is not a military camp. No. Marriage is not a prison. No. Marriage is a place where that child in you must come out. The child in you. The child in you. So make marriage fun. Create new memories. Revisit the old memories. Kumbushaneni vile mulipatana. You know, make it lively, make it fun. Share laughter. You know, today, people are paying heavily to go and laugh. In fact, entertainment has become a whole industry. When you can't laugh in your marriage, now you are going to pay somebody to entertain you to laugh. You can imagine how expensive we are making life to be. Can that entertainment be found in our families? As a couple, do some fun. Dates, holidays, playful activities. You are not too old kucheza na pillows, kutupiana pillow. You are not too old. You are not too old. Wacha kusema hiyo ni utoto. In marriage, bring that utoto out of you. Ukitaka kukuwa policeman, enda GSU huko ukuwe policeman. Hapa we are husband and wife. Sasa umeweka sura ingine hata mwenzako kukusalamia surely. Ana calculate kwanza, anapiga magoti. Oh God, help me that when I pray, when I greet my spouse, I may be responded. No. Peleka your seriousness mbali. Let marriage be fun. Use the sacrament of the Eucharist and the sacrament of penance to the maximum. The Eucharist, even as the name suggests, is a thanksgiving. The Eucharist is a sacrifice. Next slide, please. The Eucharist is a union. The Eucharist is about charity. So may these things, elements of the Eucharist, also inform our relationship. The union you seek with Christ, the way you come for the Eucharist in order to be united with Christ, be also united with one another. Nourish your charity, be united, sacrifice and covenant, and even gratitude. Penance is yet another sacrament that can help us. Forgiveness and mercy. Be merciful. Penance. Next slide. Penance is a healing of wounds. And on the second Sunday of Easter, we spoke about wounds when Jesus was showing his scars. And the scars you have, next slide please, the scars you have are a proof that you once loved. Grow in virtue. Maybe our technician has taken a break. Grow in virtue and renew your commitment. A penance that will promote peace and unity. That as you come for confession, the grace you get in the confession may take you to your spouse to exercise all that. So much so that at the end of the day, we may be a family pleasing to God. Next slide. Family life becomes a center of our growth. Family becomes a positive model of how to live our Christian life. What you are doing out there, you can as well do in the family. Sasa, mama, when you're feeding your husband, feed them the way you normally feed the visitors who come, the way you respect them. Have that respect. Wacha kuweka vyombo vya wageni na mzee anakula kwa plastic. Mpe pia yeye ni mgeni akule vizuri kwa hiyo sahani. Sasa mgeni analishwa vizuri, anavaliwa nguo vizuri, mpaka mzee anashangaa, hii pia inakuanga kwa hii nyumba. Let that model that you do out there be seen in the family. Let your family be a center for sacramental grace, where you instill the Christian values, where there is a positive association, positive energies, availability. You remember that pastor who was in the supermarket, and he met a couple of his church, and they were holding hands in the supermarket. Actually, the man was holding the woman locked and pushing the trolley. Let your families be a place to transmit faith. Share some aspect of your faith together. There is nothing as good as a family where the father is the priest leading the others in prayers and showing the faith. Support vocations. Speak well of the vocations in the church. Speak well of marriage. I always give this example. You know, women are fond of saying, because the man has annoyed me, the man has hurt me, I am heartbroken. Then you make a conclusion, all men are dogs. Okay, all men are dogs, that's okay. But you know, a female dog will always follow a male dog. So you are also another dog that followed another dog. Don't speak ill of marriage. Remember, this is a vocation. Speak well of it. Ni kama mother-in-laws wenye mko hapa, the way you are always fighting with your daughter-in-law. You will rarely find a son-in-law fighting with a father-in-law. I don't know why. It is always a mother-in-law fighting a daughter-in-law and vice versa. Women, don't forget that this daughter-in-law and you ni kama tu vile tunakutana na umbwa kwa sherehe, alafu unafukuza umbwa na wote mmekuja kula. Sasa a mother-in-law fighting a daughter-in-law and both of you mmekuja kwa hii boma kutafuta wazee. Penda neni? You are here for the same reason. Support vocations, witness faithfulness, and foster prayer and spirituality. For the interest of time, we may not say much, but it is possible, dear friends, to rekindle the love that was once there. It is possible to love again amidst challenges. And there is no better thing than sticking to one person. Surely mzee, kama huyu mwanamke mmoja amekushinda, usidhubutu kutafuta mwingine, because bado yule mwingine atakushinda. It's better to deal with one problem that you have. Don't multiply your problems. Remain faithful to that woman. And women, Remain faithful to that man. Science has proven that it is bad to have multiple partners. Faith has proven the same. Life has proven the same. And so faithfulness is just very important in all spheres of life. As we celebrate our Couples Day, may we rekindle the love that was once there and that we may have allowed to be dimmed by situations of life. The very last slide is the most important, and I wish all of you to take a photo of it, or at least to write what you see. The next slide, please. That is the most important. The next slide, that one is the most important. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Father Stephen, for your deeply reflected explanation of the theme as we framed it for you. We thank God with you and ask God to bless you in your apostolate and in your studies, and to always give you the spirit that helps you discern what the planners of such a talk have in their minds and in their hearts. For you have exactly brought out what we anticipated. This Mass is organized for us by two family life groups that have an international character. But in the Archdiocese of Nairobi now, since August last year, we have a family life department that is responsible for coordination and monitoring of all the activities related to the family in our Archdiocese. We also want to come up with our way and an approach, a methodology in which we will be doing family-focused pastoral care in the entire diocese. And in our engagement with families, in our substations, in our small Christian communities, in our parishes, and even in Archdiocese organized family activities, we intend to be starting with a reflective talk for preparation for the celebration of the Mass. Thank you, Father, for the good effort put into this. We request you to leave the slides with us for continuous engagement, even with the couples here present, those who may have questions. In our dinners, we have family life chaplains. We have the fathers who are the pastors of the souls, and all of us share in the concern of our bishops with respect to families. So we are growing our reflective library on marriage as a sacrament, on marriage as the only possible pathway to God. Thank you very much. What you have shared with us will definitely be anchored in the library that we are building up further. God bless you, and let us clap for him once more. Makofi moja. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We now wait for the preparation of the Mass and proceed with the rest of the program that we have set for ourselves.
Mahujaji wa matumaini pamoja katika sala, we request those who are celebrating Silver Jubilee and Golden Jubilee to kindly come and sit here. And then we have the trainers of trainers that were trained with regard to the manual for the preparation before marriage to kindly come and sit here, to kindly come and take this bench right here. And then that side, the first and the second bench is for the PMC. So kindly, if you are seated there and you are trained, kindly come and take your seat here. The couples who are celebrating Silver Jubilee to come and sit next to the choir here. And the first, second bench is left for the PMC. On a choir, we are set, and in the next few minutes, we will be processing to begin the Mass. Asanteni sana.
Dear viewer, and thank you very much for joining us on this live stream that is coming to you live from Queen of Apostles, Ruaraka.